I got to get better today. What do we got?
How do you get the guys mentally prepared for that, for the fans being out there and trying to maybe go a step faster than they should?
Don't prepare them too much for it, Craig. They'll go fast today.
There's been a lot of talk about Kyler's leadership yesterday from Trey and Marvin. Just in your opinion, where have you seen him take that biggest step as a leader?
Being probably a little more vocal, I would say. When things aren't right, he'll speak up. So the dominant trait in his personality, he has it, and it showed up more to me in the last couple of years, last year or so. He leads by example. He does everything right. And I would say I've seen him take a step with not just being connected with the offense, but with the entire team, which is cool.
What's the benefit of having a quarterback who has that leadership ability?
He runs the show, so we go as he goes. You know what I mean? It's the ultimate team game. I'm not saying that, but guys look to him. You know, they do.
Is that something you pushed or worked with him on in terms of?
Yeah, I have conversations with all players about everything. You know what I mean? So with him, you know, everyone's a little bit different. You know, everyone has their different styles. You know, how I might say something to Trey McBride, he's going to say it differently. You know what I mean? That's okay as long as we get the end goal in mind, you know. But, yeah, I have conversations with a lot of guys about that, and him being one of them, you know, being our quarterback, you know. So, and it's really what he's so good with is, you know, if you make it black and white for him, he responds. So I kind of tell him, this is what I'm looking for, this is what we need from you, and he responds.
Did you have those conversations when you got here? Is he different, more improved?
No, I think, you know, being with him for however many, 2.5 years now, I guess, the speed at which we communicate is a little bit quicker. The understanding and the trust is a little bit better. You know, it's just like all our players since I've been here. You know what I mean? With the coaches, the players, Monty, Michael, you know, relationships mature over time, and you can get to deeper levels quicker when you know somebody really well. I do believe that. So it's been cool to have that continuity with them for 2.5 years now.
With a team on this level, when you talk about chemistry or how they gel together, is it different in professional football than it might be on lower levels, college or high school?
I haven't been in college since 2006, so I can't speak on that. I would say this. I do think the best teams care about each other. It'd be a good question, you know, to ask Josh Sweat, Calais, those vets, you know, they've been on big-time teams. You know, like they're typically close-knit, tight teams. They care about each other. They hold each other accountable. The cool thing, you know, I always talk about, you hear it's a negative term or a negative phrase or, you know, a guy calling another guy out, right? And if you know that you have a level of care and love for each other, that's really a way to love a guy up. You know what I mean? Like, hey, man, like I've seen you do this the right way. You didn't do that the right way. You know, do it. I think so many people take that as a negative. Like, I don't take that as a negative at all. So I think those teams that can communicate like that, live like that, typically have a good chance.
Just one practice in, what was it like just having Josh back in that position group for you?
Yeah, he had a good day. Got too close to the quarterback, which I told him about in front of everybody. He understood. But yeah, you know, obviously we weren't like fully competitive yesterday. Today, we're going to go a little faster today, but you know, he's going to set edges and he's going to affect the passer. So exactly why we signed him. That's what he did.
JG, for Jonah Williams, I know that first year probably wasn't what he expected with the injury coming back and then getting injured again. Since that injury, the second one, what has he shown you, if anything, that gives you the confidence that he's ready to return?
Man, this guy, he is unbelievable. Like, he's in the building as much as anybody. You know, football is very important to him. I know he loves it here. And he wants to be out there with his teammates and play well, so he puts all his energy and effort into getting healthy and ready to go. He looked good yesterday. And it's going to be a process for him, you know. But he understands that, and he communicates really well with us, what he's feeling, what he's going through, and with Justin and with our performance team and everybody like that. But I'm glad he's out there. You know he's a really good player. He's a really good teammate. He's really smart. He's got a lot of talent, a lot of skill. That's why we acquired him, and it's good to have him out there.
In terms of install and scheduling, what happens today?
On to day 2. Truthfully, it's a good question, Craig. Everyone does a little bit different. We've talked about that. They're loaded up this week. They are. I wanted to load them up early and then tailor it down a little bit. So now everyone's going to perceive load them up early a little bit different, what that means. In my mind, when I looked at all 3 installs, all 3 phases, they're loaded up.
With Waltonville out, what kind of opportunity is it kind of for the guys behind
We got a
them?
deep, strong room there. You know what I mean? So they're going to have to play different positions like we want them to. They're going to have to get better every day. Guys are going to get opportunities, which that's the name of the game. So it'd be good to see.
Mark checking in at 220. Where does he benefit playing a little bit heavier than he did last year?
I think just running through contact, guys trying to be physical with him at the line of scrimmage. And I think where it's really going to show up is when he got the ball in his hands. I was just talking with Mark about it. It's hard to tackle. You're a DB that's 185 pounds. It's hard to tackle a guy in space running fast at 220. It just is, So that was one of his, points of emphasis that he wanted to work on too. So I think it'll help him. But he's, the first thing I looked, that's a, decent jump, in pounds. And the first thing I look at is how is he moving. He's moving really well.
You were talking about how deep the defensive line room is, and with all the names that have come up, whether the draft or free agency, a lot of people haven't been talking about Justin Jones.
Yeah,
the guy coming back.
that's who just came to my mind. Go ahead.
I'm just curious, kind of where Justin is,
Yeah.
and is he going to be asked to do anything different now that you have a more?
Oh, he has to be, be an impactful player for us. Why we acquired him, He's another one that battled to get back, through his injury and things like that, and went through spring, and it's good to see him out there. There's no doubt. He's a good player. So I'm excited for him.
How much do you lean on Calais for his perspective to kind of get messages across?
What was the last part?
Just to kind of be almost another coach, just all his experience.
Yeah, I walked into their position meeting room and he had something really valuable to add. I'm sure he does it in his own way. I'm still getting to know Calais a little bit too, but I kick things around all our players, and a guy that does it the right way, has seen it done a lot of different ways because he's been with different teams. That's a cool perspective for me. You know what I mean? How did Mike do it? How did, John do it? All the head coaches that he worked for. So I'll definitely lean on his expertise, but I think where it's most going to show up is in that D-line room, because he brings a lot of experience to that room, and he can help those guys. I tell people all the time, you want to learn football, talk to the players. They have the best perspective, So it'll be cool.
You said that the most valuable reps are game reps, and while we're not there yet, camp is the best place to make mistakes and learn from them. And when the inevitable day is approaching of going from 90 to 53, what is the general philosophy from the coaching staff or the players of you can go out and make a mistake without maybe getting in their head about it or freaked out because you want them to learn now without being worried of, okay, that mistake is the reason I might not make the final 53?
Yeah, that's a good question, Danny. I think that, they want to improve every day. Improvement every day looks different with each guy. And the amount of mistakes that are made or not made, those are just learning experiences. So you can learn from a bad rep, you can learn from a positive rep. The key is that you're getting better to approaching your ceiling, surpassing your ceiling, being the best player that you can be. I don't think any of them right now are looking over their shoulder. Oh, I just made a mistake, I'm going to get cut. They don't think like that. I hope they don't think like that. I hope they think, let me learn from that and do it better the next time.
As a coach, when you talk about mistakes, are there different kinds of mistakes? Can you look at mistake and say, this is a mistake that this guy shouldn't be making, as opposed to this is a mistake because he's trying this new technique, or he's trying to learn this new thing, and there's just a learning curve?
Yeah, that's kind of a loaded question too. There's mistakes. I'll let you guys in on something. There's mistakes called non-negotiables. That's why they're called non-negotiables. So if they want to be a Cardinal, they ain't making those. There's other mistakes that are going to happen when you're playing football. No one's ever played a clean game without a mistake, that I've seen, at least in however many years. But the key is whatever that is, you want to be able to learn from it and then try not to make it again or try to fix it. So that's, the epitome of getting better. Fail at something, learn from it, understand you failed at it, learn from it, and get better.
When it comes to 11-on-11 work specifically, and critiquing and evaluating daily film of what you see out there every day, how detailed do you and your coaching staff get on those reviews on a daily basis?
How many hours in a day?
I mean, every day you're pouring through the positives and negatives.
I mean, I don't even know how to answer that, Bob.
It's an exhaustive question, baby.
That's our job, so we spend the time that is needed to be right and evaluate it.
With Josh?
Does that answer it?
No. But it was
What are you looking for?
I want to know.
Like hours?
Well, it's kind of not off of their questions, but the detail in your processes of breaking down 11-on-11 work every day gives you a better feel about tons of stuff. Kind of want to look at how difficult that is and how detailed you guys get.
Extremely detailed. So like right when we get off the grass, all three phases are watching the tape together, and that's the first wave. Then while they're lifting, one group's lifting, one group's doing a recovery. That flip-flops every day. Then we have a psych meeting in the locker room, then we go have walkthrough. Then we get back to the hotel and nobody eats, and we watch the tape again. And then you make your cut-ups because you got to get ready to correct the tape that was just happened with the players, right? And sometimes you might not get through all of it with them, but you get through a lot of it, right? And then when the players leave and go work on their health bucket and go to bed, we probably watch it 2, 3, 4 more times. And then you go to bed, and then you wake up, and you probably watch it again a couple times. And the funny thing is, I will say this, the more you watch it, the more you see.
When you watch it at night and then watch it in the morning, is it always that day's practice, or do you go back any further than what you just...
Depends what you're looking for. A lot of guys go back, or it depends how your teaching style is to correct mistakes, It just depends. Everybody's a little bit different with how they process and perceive information, and then how they're ultimately the night meetings. I tell them, that's cool. The most important time that you have during the day is with the players in the meeting room and on a practice field. So if you're doing something that takes away from that, see what I'm saying? They know that they got to be spot on and ready to go, which it takes those times without being with the players to be spot on and deliver it clean and crisp, and so that they can understand. So, boy, you got an in-depth question there.
So it makes no sense for any of us to keep stats during training camp.
No.
With all the additions,
That'd be a waste of your time.
That's the point.
Yeah, that'd be a waste of your time.
with all the additions that you guys have made at cornerback over the last 2 or 3 years since you've been here, how are you viewing that room right now?
At cornerback?
Corner, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Highly competitive right now. You know what I mean? We got some young guys. We got some second-year guys, some third-year guys, some guys that have played more ball than others, I really like where the room is at. I like what Ryan's doing with those guys. Again, they play in a scheme that they have to do, multiple things, that they got to be proficient in those techniques, both mentally and physically. And then at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, like, when, talk to me about corner play, this and that. Like, At the end of the day, don't let the ball cross your face in the run game, and when the ball comes to you in the pass game, knock it down. So let's not get too complicated, like what the job description is. You know, just like an outside linebacker, set an edge in the run game, go sack the quarterback, go hit the quarterback. You know what I mean? Now, it's way more detailed than that, but that's what I look for. That's called point of attack. When the ball comes to you, you make it.
AJ, did Chad Ryland prove something to you last year that gave you the
Yeah, he did.
confidence?
Yeah.
What was that?
Ice water in his veins. I mean, how many game winners did he hit right from the jump? I laughed. The first game winner, we got in the locker room. What was that versus San Fran? There was like half the team didn't. I hit being connected. Who asked me that? They didn't know his name. I mean, he literally just got there. You know what I mean? And we're trotting this guy out and kick a game winner on the road. And he did it multiple times. He's a great dude. He's another one that pours all his time into those specialists. Jeff and Sam do a really good job with those specialists because they got their own deal. You know what I mean? They lift a little bit different. They meet a little bit different. Their health bucket is filled a little bit differently than everybody. You know, because they're on a little bit different schedule. It's a different thing. But he's a football player, man. You know what I mean? So I'm glad we got him. And I look forward to him this year, you know, being accustomed to how we do things and everything and ascending.
Coach, whenever you first got here, you said that great teams, the locker room. Whenever you first got here, you said that great teams, the locker room will police themselves. You lost a couple of your leaders, guys like Kaiser, Will Hernandez over the offseason. You also picked up a couple ones.
Yeah.
It's still pretty early, but how are you impressed with the locker room?
Yeah, I mean, like the coaches, in my opinion, right now, I mean, we're day 2, but we've laid the tracks down. They're driving a car. So that's cool to see. And you got to have some trust and faith that they're going to drive it the right way. And I do. I really do.
Is Will Johnson at 100% right now?
Yeah, he's practiced today.
Coach, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.